What?
You gonna wash your hands?
No, 'cause I'm evil.
Welcome everybody, I'm RJ of The Nerdy Brew, and here on this channel we talk TV, movies, and everything in between, all while drinking a cup of coffee. Now if you like one of those things or all of those things, why don't you consider subscribing, and hit that notification bell, and becoming a fellow Brewster. So today, fellow Brewsters, this is a coffee talk of one villainous scene in honor of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad that comes out this weekend. And it is a collective effort of different film YouTubers that discuss their favorite scenes that resonates with them, that makes it impactful with the antagonist of a certain movie. And before I get on with that scene, there has always been an uphill battle of trying to capture a positive light of the black experience inside film. But we have also had positive highlights, continued the pattern of breaking down barriers for Black Panther to even become a movie. We have had Meteor Man, we have had Blank Man, we have had Blade, we have had Wesley Snipes, we have had Sidney Poitier, we have had also Denzel Washington that went against the major narrative. And if you were able to see Hollywood Shuffle, that there was certain type of roles that were majoritarily given out that try to box in the black experience, and it was a portrayal of violent, confrontational, drug addicts, poor, stupid, slaves, ghetto, all of those things that they try to portray and promote and propel. And the importance of Black Panther was just as much as Coming to America was that it was black kings, it's black royalty, scientific, futuristic, and we are introduced in the MCU of T'Challa and that world. When we meet Black Panther in Civil War, we see that he's collected, he's stoic, he's regal, he's focused, and not only that, it is just a great introduction to who we get to know inside the MCU. After those events in Civil War, and we get to see how focused and dutiful he is, we see his world, his experience, following him into his own outing of a film of Black Panther in 2018. And in that movie, we see how futuristic, Afro-futuristic, and magnificent that the world of Wakanda is, and still being traditional to their culture. And that was a highlight inside of itself of what we get to experience, that it wasn't just a background or the foreground of Anglo heroes. It was taking traditional African concepts and making it fantastical for us to see. And in his movie of Black Panther, we are also introduced to one of his antagonists, not Claw, but the main antagonist of Eric Killmonger. And now the thing is, with Eric Killmonger, we're introduced to him as a child, and then we see him in Oakland, and we see where he comes from. And then after that, we are reintroduced to him as an adult. And then when we see him as this adult, we see that he is knowledgeable, confident, calculated. And not only that, that man is full of drip. So much swag when he's just sitting there, standing there, looking at that, and then dropping that knowledge on that white woman.
I got drip for sale. I got drip for sale. I got drip for sale. I got drip for sale.
So, as the movie progresses, we see his methodology. We see his personality, that with his focus, even through the small scene of the museum, that he has an entire plan of knocking down whatever obstacle in his way for his ultimate goal. And not only as we follow him through the movie, he gets rid of his girlfriend and he gets rid of his partner, and he drags the dead body of Claw back to Wakanda for him to gain an audience. So after he gains an audience, he knows that he is royalty. And that gets brought out way earlier in the movie, that his father was the uncle and part of the lineage and bloodline of the Wakanda dynasty, right? So he challenges T'Challa. We all know this. It made $1 billion. Everybody's seen the movie. But when he fights T'Challa, he defeats T'Challa, and he leaves T'Challa for dead. And that puts him in a place to ascend to the throne. And then when he did that, he ended up making sure that he flipped and changed the entire dynamic of the nation. But now that we're all here, hopefully I got everybody caught up. During that time, before he transitioned, you know, he has to get the power of the heart-shaped herb and drink that. And this is the scene, the one villainous scene that sat with me, is that he was able to transcend and go into the ancestral plane. And what about that particular scene is that we're introduced to little young Killmonger once again, and that there he's at his apartment, and there at that apartment is so pivotal. So we see in Black Panther, when T'Challa went to the spirit realm, we saw the past Black Panthers and the kings, and his father was resting in the tree in the plains of Africa. Wakanda, was his root, and his lineage and everything that he held dear was at the spot that he saw. And you know the thing about trees have roots, that's where you're planted. But when Killmonger went to the spirit realm, he saw his dad, his history was in that apartment. Everything changed for him in that apartment. Back in Oakland, he was a decorated killer that has been all over the world, right? But his apartment in Oakland was his roots, and it was the vision. It was his purpose. So I just wanted to bring out a correlation. Both suits were kinetic of energy that the heroes, or, you know, Killmonger, when they put on the vibranium suit, that they had to absorb. And with T'Challa being Black Panther, he ended up absorbing and taking in so many ideals of altruism and virtue and wisdom that he needed to be the rightful king. But then on the flip side, we have Eric, and Eric, before not having his actual roots, he started killing in the name of America, and instead of absorbing things that were traditional, that he ended up adopting and mutilating himself of expressing and exporting out hate. And that is one big correlation between these two individuals. So when T'Challa went into the astral plane, he was able to see the other Black Panthers, he was able to see the lineage, he was able to talk with his father. And now if you correlate that with Eric Killmonger, his father was alone in that apartment by himself, regretfully. And then they had the interesting conversation where he mentioned both of them being lost, and he acknowledged that he should have done more for his son Eric to connect him to his roots. Although he gave him the key, he was still not where he needed to be with ideologies or with his family. So we could definitely understand that at that apartment, it was such a defining moment for that to mold Killmonger into the person that we got. And we know that his father never went down the path of becoming Black Panther, but it's pretty much implied that the visions of after going through the dream sequence or the ritual, that it is to the individual. So we get to see the psychology and the feelings that is behind Killmonger so much in that scene. That's why the apartment in Oakland is important to Killmonger. He was left there as a boy, seeing the Wakandan ship not being brought up in the Wakanda way, and then the apartment was such a pivotal location where everything changed him. He was lost, and in that place and time, he held on to that. He resonated with that, and that allowed him to be focused on the man that we got to take the throne. So in that one scene, I feel like that is a powerful scene, just as much as we got Thanos discussing why he wanted to create balance of what he wanted to do for the universe, and as the same scene of the reflection of knowing that Loki was not of Odin's son, and it just was a way for us to see the deeper nuances of Eric Killmonger and why he was on the trajectory that he was, to have so much animosity and so much focus and drive of being controlled and submerged inside vengeance and hate. And it seemed like it was rightfully placed, knowing things that happened historically, and also, you know, colonialism and imperialism. And the thing is, he wanted to adapt that and put that onto the rest of the world, where you can see that it was not of a balanced view, but there was some justification behind the anger. And that was my favorite villainous scene of a villain. There were plenty more that I could have went through that I just feel like, yes, that tops it. That is why I can resonate with these villains. But that was the one I decided to go with, and I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. What is your favorite villainous scene? Why don't you like, share, comment, and subscribe? Sorry that I made this all extra heavy, but I'm just trying to stay within the theme of that. New videos are on the way. I'm not sure how long. I procrastinated all this week. I've done the Jungle Cruise, and I did not put it up yet. But this is going up because I'm trying to work within the algorithm, and I appreciate Nando V Movies for making this such a thing that I'm able to participate in. And I'm going to bring this video to an end, and I want you to be you, do you, see the bigger picture. Have a fantastic day, because you deserve it. This is that channel. Peace.